Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Podfathers, the best parenting podcast in the universe, presented by Barstool Sports. It's your pal Clem here. It's large and dirty Jersey chaps down in Tejas, Joey Langone behind the virtual wall sounds, and Nicky the Good fucking no-shows his first show as Nicky. Is it Nicky the Good? Is that what we're rolling with, Large?
Nicky the Good, yeah.
Nicky the Good. So he fucking no-shows on us on his first show.
Are we sure we want to go with Nicky the Good? Because his middle name starts with a B. I feel like Nicky B. Good is very, very good, too.
I think I'm sold on that one, Chapsy. That's a good one. That's a good one. So Nicky B. Good, Nicky B. Good is out today. However, his work is still here. If you are watching this right now, these three ugly mugs on the computer, that is because of Nicky B. Good. He got us on YouTube. Barstool Grown Up has officially been released. Nick came in as our new producer and put like 5 new things on the docket right away. As you know, Podfather show has been very fatherly in terms of embracing technology and change. But Nick came in as our new producer and is
actually the only Barstool podcast that records exclusively with an Android.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're watching this right now on YouTube, that's thanks to Nick. If you're not watching on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube. Why do you subscribe on YouTube? I don't know. Everyone's fucking going to YouTube. It's the future. My kids don't watch anything other than YouTube. They scream if we don't let them watch YouTube on TV. So YouTube is the future. So Nick started up this Grown Up project. It's going to have every Podfathers episode from here on moving forward. I don't know if we have the old ones in the back channels we can get up there, but then we're also going to have Kate doing high chair stuff and fucking Kate mom hijinks. We're going to have Chaps with the longtime toolies. Large will be getting down dirty in the food stuff, you know, living the rich life. I'll get into some snack stuff, some nostalgia plays Nick wants to do. I think we're going to get some Smitty stuff on here, right? We're reaching out to anyone who has...
No,
thank you. If you've had sex before and it's stuck, and you have to come on and put something together for the YouTube. So check it out. If you go to YouTube, you search Barstool Grown Up, or if you go to we got a fancy link here for like the largest of the world where all they have to do is click it, barstool.link/grown up, but you have to have the G and the U both capitalized to get it. So and that'll take you right to the page with the little
Brandon Walker's gonna do Southern gas station food reviews, which would be fantastic. Looking forward to that. Get some boiled peanuts from Mississippi.
Oh, Chaps, you and those boiled peanuts, man. I was
delicious.
thinking the other day, I was like, I gotta try those one of these days.
How do you feel about them, Large? You had boiled peanuts?
I never had them until I was in like Alpharetta, Georgia, and we bought them on the side of the road. Guys like, you want the spicy ones? I was like, should I? He's like, they're spicy. And they don't make much sense, right? They're kind of soft and whatnot. They are fucking delicious.
Yeah, I call them Southern edamame is what I say they are.
Yeah, that's perfect. And again, like I was 20 something before I tried them first when I was something like that. And they are delicious. Haven't had them in a while. We don't get them up here, except if you go to like one of these brunchy Southern places, they'll give them to you in the little ashtray. And you got to get them in a bag. Of them. Yeah, you got to get them in a bag side of the road.
Kate and Radio Bren were in North Carolina, and we stopped at a gas station, and I came out of the gas station with most Southern spots. They'll serve them to you in a big styrofoam cup, like the huge styrofoam cups.
Yeah.
And so I came out with one, and Kate was like, "What is that?" I was like, It's boiled peanuts. And she acted like I had a dick growing on my forehead. I handed her a Radio Bren one. And both of them were, that's the most disgusting shit I've ever had in my life. I was like, it's because you guys are fucking hillbillies. You don't have an elevated palate like me and Large. That's why we like boiled peanuts.
Right. Every now and again, too. We were in South Jersey for a basketball tournament last year, and we had to go back down there on like consecutive weekends. And I had to get lost because there'd be like an hour between games. So you can just kind of, the kids had to stay together, but you were on your own. And I went to a gas station that was a big Mexican gas station. It had like micheladas being sold and stuff like that. And they did their homemade tamales in there. So the first day I was there, I snubbed my nose. Who the fuck eats? That's like gas station sushi. No, it is not. I went in there and I had a couple of tamales the next day. Oh, they were the fucking great. And it wasn't like I was shitting like a shark on the way home or anything like that. They didn't disagree with me. I'm sure they weren't the best thing I put in my body. So every now and again, I would much rather, this is what's crazy about me, I'd much rather eat boiled peanuts on the side of the road, a tamale from a gas station, than go to fucking Arby's, which I shit on this weekend. I got a lot of blowback from people who were standing up for Arby's. Can I talk
Arby's
about it
is
right
an
now?
absolute abomination to the Lord.
It's like a Nerf football that they plunge into beef broth, squeeze, and then let back out, then run it through a slicer. And someone comes to me, no, it's good roast beef.
It's
And
like ham
what
that
if
they're
we?
trying to make paper out of, essentially.
Yeah,
Like, where they just
they're
get
like,
it
well,
all
what?
wet and put it in there where you bring it out and now it's like meat papyrus.
Yeah, they're like, what if I can't get a roast beef in New York Deli, a beef on weck in Buffalo, pit beef down in Baltimore, an Italian beef in Chicago. There's some sort of beef sandwiches up in Massachusetts that people do, like regular old roast beef sandwiches. I
Shout
mean,
out
obviously,
Roseanne Barr. You could do a loose meat sandwich.
absolute loose meat, anything with fucking Arby's. Loose meat is like is straight shit too. You ever had that?
I, honest to God, when Roseanne and Jackie used to eat it at the restaurant, I used to think it looked kind of delicious, but now it's just fucking ground meat, right?
It's ground meat in some sort of liquid, so it turns into a sloppier Joe.
Ground beef and fucking an au jus.
But
But
it's a sloppier Joe. And whenever you say Roseanne and loose meat, right away you think of her genitals. But it's
True.
actually, it's not bad in a pinch. So I think there's no excuse anywhere in the world.
Tom
to get a
Arnold
good
would
roast beef
disagree.
sandwich. Oh yeah, a good roast beef sandwich, Arby's, because they just started this thing called the Diablo Dare. It's supposed to be the hottest fast food item that you can get. Ghost pepper dust with a chipotle bun that's bright red and all that. And apparently each one comes with a free small milkshake. That's how hot it is. You need the milkshake with it. So I wrote about it. From what I understand, it's all bullshit. It's not even that hot. So all the Arby's stands who say they can't get a good roast beef anywhere else, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That's
All right, that's it.
I saw it go up there, and I feel like a lot of people probably were about to call you out on it. Don't come at large with the food takes, unless it's what was it? All Skittles taste the same, which was a preposterous take.
Wait, what did I mess that up with? Was it Fruit Loops?
Fruit
Yes.
Loops. Yeah.
And I said, oh no, did I say Starburst or Skittle? Do all Starburst? No, Starburst are the best.
No, they
like
definitely
pink.
taste different. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pink and reds, right? But
Mhm.
yeah, with Skittles, I said, you
Yellow
came
guy.
at me.
Came
You
at
were
you
the first
hard.
one
I
to-
went for your fucking head. I took you out real clean though. I took care of my guy. I took you out clean. That was back in the Deke Zucker days. It goes up, you never know what's being
Right.
written, misquoted and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Rest in peace, Deke. You hear about that?
Dead,
Might as
hit
well.
by a bus. No, I
Yeah.
saw him back the other day, and I was really happy to see him. He was tweeting something
Me
out, and
too.
I was like,
Well,
I
that's some
remember-
nonsensical shit, right? Like it was something that didn't have, it was like some scientific study about worms. Like it was the weirdest thing I've seen.
Deke, it's like those accounts that they like. I know Chief always talks about on the dog walk, where it's like it's Chevy trucks, and then one day it's like a Russian. It's like a way they didn't change it to like do some sort of political account to get people all riled up about shit. Deke just got into the Barstool audience, got all the followers, and he's just gonna change one day to like a fucking worm farmer or something, or he's some Russian bot farm over Putin's fucking his puppet shit like that.
He comes out of nowhere, tweets for the first time, and says tweets some dude named Tucker that says, "I've signed a letter to become a full-time sports data scientist, quantitative trader at Delavan Lake Trading beginning next fall." No one gives a fuck about that. Deke, do the don't bet the unders gif. Do that. That's what people want to see.
Did I tell you I'm going to do Deadliest Weapons because I get all the weapons and stuff?
Oh,
I ordered
Yes.
this one is the one you shoot the toothpicks with. It's the crossbow you shoot toothpicks. What a piece of shit. Right away, the
Spoiler
trigger
alert.
snaps. The trigger does not go, but you can still like do it manually, but it absolutely is a waste. So, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to like shoot it at shit and whatnot at some point, but I happen to have it near the thing. So I remember it's garbage. This is
So,
fucking garbage.
Can we have a test? Like you need to have varying degrees of things to shoot through. Like for example, first up, you could do like a tortilla. Like what would be a good one? Does it go through a tortilla? Does it puncture an orange? How about a watermelon? What?
Like a
butt
loaf of
cheek.
bread, an uncut
Yeah.
loaf of bread. That's one of
A
them
child.
for sure. And then then you start bringing out the kids and you see which
Come here, Bridge.
The YouTube channel will explode. We will
Oh,
go
yeah.
viral. We'll probably have other people.
Uh-huh.
There's like the weekly emails we get from America, and it tells you who, where all our Barstool's content was covered. The Podfathers will be getting covered it'll probably only be one or two times.
CNN, MSNBC,
Yeah.
Fox News.
Large will be arrested, but again, Barstool grown up for the YouTube. I
Listen,
can't wait.
we shot her with the crossbow, the toothpick crossbow, and a spot on her head where already had her hair ripped out. So it wasn't even that big of a deal.
It was still healing. Blue cheese will be Large's other target practice.
Oh, what happened with blue cheese?
We have to. I don't think have you even told any of this story? I know you wrote
a little
blog,
bit,
but I don't know how much was covered on
blogged
the
it. Yeah, I blogged it twice and with the finale. So it wound up costing me on the first night when we went in. It cost. I'm going right to the cost. Doesn't matter about the dog. And the first night it was $700 for the blood work, and then when we had to take her back to the hospital the next day, she wouldn't stop salivating. And I pet MD'd it. And they said one of the big things for constant salivation might be kidney failure. And one of the big things of ibuprofen ingestion might be kidney failure. So we were preparing for the worst. Annie actually said goodbye to her as I was taking her to the hospital. And it wound up, she has something called ISIS. She has something, this blockage at the end of her stomach after whatever. So that's also was causing her to back up, and a lot of, she was soaking things. I thought she wet the bed, but it was just so much saliva was coming out of her mouth. And she's not a drooler like a mastiff sometimes gets that snotty drool. This was almost like clear water. So anyway, she had to spend the night in that hospital, and the hospital started to met out to me what the bills were going to be. And so as I was writing the blog on it, I was like, so the first, battery of blood work, boom. And that's when they brought out the sawhorse. And then they told me they're going to have to do the ultrasound. And that's when they pulled down my pants. And then they put the big fucking thing of lube right up to my middle of my ass. And then it dripped down. And then boom, they kept her overnight. And it cost me another $4,300. So $5,000 in for this little bitch. And she's healing up well. She's on like 3 or 4 drugs now. It's even up paid 3 that she has to do with a special diet and all that stuff. So, but it seems like she's 100%, I think. And at one point with the hospital, I actually said to the woman, I was like, listen, yeah, you got me hook, line, and sinker throughout this whole thing. This is it. If you find something else, or if you're going to move the goalposts again past $4,300, I have no more money for her. That's her allotment for 2022. So you're either going to have to do this pro bono, or you're going to have to give me a way to do it at home by myself. And I'm telling you, that's where I thought the scam came in. Because then all of a sudden, once they found that there was no more blood in the stone, okay, we'll come pick her up. Like, you know what I mean? Like that.
I think a lot of times, and I tell people this, my wife's aunt, I tell her, like, dude, they are just fucking doing it to make money. There's so many things that we spend money at the vet as a dog handler. I'm just like, oh my God, man. Like, and not saying that your issue wasn't an issue that you normally would spend money on, but I look at some of the things that my mom, I had to tell my mom, stop taking the fucking dog to the vet every time it has diarrhea. Like, just give it some rice and it's going to be fine. Like, there so many things from the vet are just an absolute waste. Even parvo treatment, like parvo treatment, if a dog gets parvo, it's really deadly in younger dogs. Older dogs, you can live through it. Like, and if you know how to do it, I had essentially like an ER setup for our old dog, Rondo. He had it, and I put IVs and shit like that in our bedroom because I was active duty. We couldn't afford $6,000 treatment for that stuff. We just did it. And I was like, look, if he dies, he dies, but we're not spending fucking $6,000.
I will tell you 100%. So Annie got out of quarantine. So we're taping on Monday. Annie got out of quarantine on Saturday morning. She then stayed in an extra day. And then last night was the first time she went out. Her and I went to Arturo's, sat down, had a meal at Arturo's. But while she was sort of quarantined in the house, nobody else got it. Amazingly, right? Nobody else got it. She had a quarantine. I'd given Annie, I would bring up food and whatnot, and I put in a tray, put on a mask, either bring it in or leave it at the door or something like that, you know? And
did you make like spaceship noises when you go through?
But there's a
do you ever see your meatloaf?
These there's tea diffusers now. I get them as gifts, like almost stocking stufferish gifts. They're rubber dolls, like Brontosaurus, and it's like a dinosaur you put in there, and the tea diffuses from his rubber body. Then there's one like I think called koala tea or something, and it's a koala that hangs on the side of your teacup and essentially urinates tea into your teacup. You know, you put the thing in. So I don't use loose tea enough. When I do, I make a pot. So I don't use these diffusers. I open up the diffuser, I put 7 Advil in there, and that's what I put with Annie. I said, here, there's a bunch of Advil in the little koala. So she took 2 and she left that on the floor with the tray that had the chicken soup and whatnot in it. So when Blue Cheese got into it and ate the other 5 Advil, she felt so much fucking guilt that she was killing the animal. So as a result, that guilt was something to, on top of being connected to the animal and whatnot, was one of those things where I was like, okay, I just got to pay to get through this. I got to throw money at this until she's better. And I'm telling you, if you want to throw money at something, there's nobody on the other end with a bigger bucket than veterinary hospitals.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a person who I think whose husband listens to this, young lady, I won't mention her name. She's a vet, not too far away from where I am, too far for me to go visit her, but not too far away. And she's like, you got to know about all the stressors and expenses that it is. Like apparently veterinarian students are like a high suicide level, all this stuff I didn't know. And I wound up having an intelligent discussion with her about like, no, and I totally get it. And I totally get that you guys get shit on more. Like my old profession, nobody hates fucking Wall Street guys. You know, everyone fucking hates this.
Mm-hmm.
But this is what happened. I didn't inflate the cost. I'll show you the bills. And she's like, well, then there's no excuse. You did get fucked. But just know that there's good ones out there. And I've had great vets. There was this guy, Dr. Kinnear.
Sure. Dentists are the same exact way too. Dentists do that shit all the time.
Yeah. And so, yeah, exactly. Dentists, plumbers, electricians, you know, all that.
You can't be like,
stuff.
no, my cavity's not that bad. How the fuck do you know? You don't know shit. You're not a dentist.
Right. So so it's good. Like like a little bit of a learning experience. I'm not taking back anything I said. I really feel like I got fucked. I didn't think that the service was overly great. Then like the infighting between the 2 different places I went to was pathetic. And again, I got fucked. It cost me $5,000. And all I got to show for it is like 3 different type of antacids. That's what I feel like I went home with, chaps.
It's because vets are basically like they are essentially Sirius XM radio for medical care. Like where if you're paying the $29.99 a month for the premium Sirius, you're an idiot. Like you got to call and be like, no, I'm going to cancel. Next thing you know, you get 10 years for $5.99.
Right.
Like it's the same exact thing. That's what veterinarians are. They are Sirius XM radio of the medical profession.
Can I ask people who are listening too, whenever you find somebody who's telling the story about how they got fucked with their dog, with medical bills, it doesn't help to say, hey, you should get insurance. I know I should have gotten insurance, perhaps. And I know that my breed is not easily insurable. And I know that she's now impossible to insure.
Well, Large, I know you got genital warts. You might have thought about a condom.
No, exactly. Like there's so many people who like, we're Monday morning quarterbacks. Meanwhile, it's just like this money's flowing out of me. I'm like, oh, thanks. Thanks for the, next time I'll get insurance on that.
People did the same thing when my truck got stolen. They're like, oh, you should think about getting a GPS tracker.
Exactly.
I'm like, thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I appreciate
my fucking F-250 is rolling down in Laredo.
I don't know if they expect me to be like, what is insurance? Can you spell that? What is, you know what I mean? I get
insurance.
I get it. So that's it. So she's on the mend. She's shaved up again. That shaved like her belly and the paws where the IVs were and stuff like that. And she's dyed pink again. Bridget had dyed her pink like 2 days before this whole thing went down, which is just even more fucking ridiculous. So that's it. So the money for Blue Cheese has been allotted. And next time, I think she's going to a farm in San Antonio to visit some friends and never come back. That's going to be all righty.
And don't you discount, though, like you said, Annie felt very guilty about it all. That didn't feel good just in terms of being sick. Now that it's all said and done, though, Large, you got her through this. And I think you're going to reap some benefits off that, right? It's like, he took care of business when I was down, and you cannot put a price tag on that as being the husband. People on YouTube can now see what Large does as we do the
He's
podcast.
filleting the mic.
And the Blue Cheese, like I always say, like
I get the ladies going like, oh, you saved my dog from a little bit of ibuprofen poisoning.
But I got it like my
Advil's
house.
the worst though, because it has a sugar coating on the outside. It's sugary.
It's delicious.
It is.
Chaps, I was walking through my old house.
That was McFlurry. That was Advil.
I dragged my toe and like through a carpet, all of a sudden an Advil popped out. And like it was a different color. It had been there for so long. I said, oh shit, look at that. And I popped it. It could have been there a year and a half. Mm-hmm. I've done shots of vodka with Advil in it at Kahn's apartment. I've done like 5 Advil shots in a fucking run.
What's the difference between that and Goody's headache powder? Nothing.
But I can't find it. So you know what I mean?
It doesn't exist, my friend.
We were about to do Rough and Rowdy. It was myself, Big Cat, and Robbie in like Fayetteville, North or South Carolina. And all of a sudden I took out some Advil. I said, hey, does anybody want one? And Robbie's like, no, I don't have a headache. Why would I want an Advil? And Big Cat's like, who wouldn't want to feel just a little better? Yeah.
I came over to the radio thing and you were like, chaps, you want an Advil? And I was like, of course I do.
Yeah,
I never turned down an Advil and I never turned down an Imodium ever. I could always use an Imodium.
But you know how sometimes I try to play that thing when especially when Clem's having a bad day with the kids and I'm like, oh yeah, my guy shoveled last night. Mick was my designated driver. I had the 3 kids, half in, half out and all that stuff with the wife and the fucking dog in the hospital this week. Clem, I fucking felt it a little bit. Like this is the one where I was like, yeah, why did I get married and have kids? I question everything this week a little bit.
Yeah. So it's crazy that one of your partners was Spider and the other one's Willie. A little bit different.
Another organic thing that happened here at Barstool. I wrote it down. It happened last week, but I just had to shout it out. Our guy Big Cat spring into action during that Rico gate with the fucking high noon can going at the head.
Oh yeah.
All-time dad performance by him there. He's barking at him from a distance, being like, hey, what's going on over there?
Hey, it doesn't even matter if you're in the right. Just shut up for right now. Just shut up. Everybody shut the fuck up.
And he goes, Big T goes, are we going to do something about it? He goes, well, it didn't hit you. We really can't do anything about it. Typical dad response. I absolutely loved it. Then once it got physical, though, the cat came crawling, he pounced into action and took care of business.
You know what Dan needs? Dan needs a belt with his name on it. Where he like pulls off his leather belt. Like my dad used to have that. It said Mitch on it. And sometimes I would end up with a MI on my legs from the imprint. That's what Rico needs. He needs the big old BI stuck to his leg because he got whipped.
Didn't Hollywood Hogan used to do that with the NWO belt? He used to just whip people with his Hollywood Hogan belt. So Mitch did that?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot about the name.
Occasionally, he would even put the Dusty Rhodes flying elbow on me. He'd really get him going.
American Dream.
Yeah.
I feel like we might have rebuked I know for a fact we rebuked Mitch, but I think we might have said no more mentioning the M word anymore on this podcast. But I guess it's been
because that's my middle name, Mitchell the Bitchel is what people.
That's right. Yeah, that was during the Trubisky draft, which is now a bad word in Chicago as well.
Very unfair.
Very unfair. Very, as it turns out.
I saw something the other day. Mitch could end up in Pittsburgh with Tomlin and have that security with the way that they evaluate talent. That could be good. Mitch could do well there.
That's a good fucking, like, they're going to have good receivers for the rest of his career, no matter what, because that's all they do in Pittsburgh is draft awesome receivers and have good defenses. So that could work for Mitch. I'd love to see that. It would drive Carl crazy as he watches from a distance as Jersey Jerry is like,
that's got to be that as a sports fan, an NFL fan. If Blaine Gabbert or Blake would have went somewhere and really succeeded, like I think that would bother me, even as a Chargers fan. Like the Chargers, Drew Brees leaves after they draft Phillip Rivers, and Drew Brees goes on to have top 3-4 career of all time. And you still have Phillip Rivers, who was great in his own regard, but he was no Drew Brees. Watching Drew Brees be one of the best somewhere else has got to be like, fuck, man.
Fucking Chargers fans have it. They're so tortured on such a low key basis too. You know what I mean? It's truly
to have Drew Brees on the roster. You use your number 2 overall pick on Phillip Rivers is fucking bullshit.
It's fucking crazy, man. They had the 1 pick. They lose Eli. He goes to the Giants, wins 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots, and then the 4 pick is Rivers, and they trade him. And then he gets like he never made made that AFC Championship against Brady where they lost, and then obviously they lost to the Giants in Super Bowl 18-1. I'm actually weird though, chaps. I'm weird in this sense that I am now at the point where I almost hope Daniel Jones goes to a franchise that actually knows what the fuck they're doing, and he wins with that franchise.
You eventually hate your own team so much that you want your own team to suffer because of your own team. Where it's like, I hope the Jaguars never win another game, and I'm gonna watch them all be miserable the entire time.
I'm just going to leave the door open for AJ one day. And if he just goes out, runs away and finds another family, I hope you make it, kid. I hope you do better than what I could have done for you here as your dad. Cause I think we kind of hit a wall, but we'll do our best.
Somebody else, Casey Smith has pulled a Podfathers move like I did. Like eventually you're away for so long, and if your team is dysfunctional and they bring you no joy, just drop them altogether. Like she's like, I don't even care about the Cowboys. I've lived away from Texas for so long. I don't watch them. I don't care. I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. If something doesn't bring you any joy in your life, like going to church, for example, like there's just so many families that every Sunday they will post the videos of them going to church, had another fight with the kids before going to church. Here you go. How about stop going to church? If your entire family hates it and you hate it, why do it?
I'm with you. And this is a CCD teacher. Large, you better step up for your boy right now. Pope could be listening. He is a known YouTube subscriber. He tweeted us a picture of the subscribe link.
Yeah. I mean, I think the answer is people want to go to heaven, but I don't.
Make up your own.
Imagine if that's the only thing that gets me to heaven. Right?
The fact that you went to church. I mean, that really qualifies, though. That's what they teach you.
I love
that's good.
I loved at the beginning of Lent on the desk where I have a guy next to me who is honestly ripping off the public for millions of dollars every fucking day, cheating on his wife, like doing all that kind of stuff. But on Friday, he'd be like, whoa, what's up with the chicken parm? Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like, tuna sandwiches, bro. It's fucking Lent. Go potato and eggs. I'd be like, buddy, you are a despicable human being. If you can goose step across
you
the
got a kilo of nose beers in your pocket right now.
I was like, yeah. So there's a certain degree of hypocrisy there. You got to get to heaven, chaps. That's the simple answer.
That's the end goal. Yeah, that's a fair point. There something with the Pope this week. I saw KFC actually had, I think, in a 1 Minute Man about it. Were you saying like everyone should have kids or something? If you don't have kids, you're selfish or some shit.
Modern millennial families who they'll just have an animal like a pet, and then they'll view that as their kid instead of having kids. Is tearing apart the fabric of society.
They're just taking away money.
I feel like there's a bunch of these fuckers who don't deserve to have kids, who should not have children.
Thanos was right. I'm telling you, man, that's all I'm learning. Thanos was right, and the Podfathers are right. We've scared a few people off from kids for the rest of their lives. Kind of a fucked up thing that we kind of have the ability to do, but I might have been better if it was me. I've had
multiple people say to me that they were on the fence about buying French bulldogs, and now they're going in a different direction. You're welcome. You're fucking welcome. And believe me, cutest thing in the world. Cute factor is off the charts. Honestly, this thing's adorable, but if I could stop somebody from making the same mistakes I did, and not the obesity and the drugs and alcohol, but this one, woof, walk away, guys, walk away.
It's like that TikTok trend where they would show like this dog that is like, I will thrive under any conditions. And it's this mutt that's just running around being crazy as hell. And then the camera will pan like, I'm allergic to tap water. And it'll be like this fucking chihuahua or something.
Right.
My boy Joe Lighting actually hit me up and he said, man, this dog is really fucking large up. I go, that dog is going to kill him long before the food, the booze, and the old age gets him. Like that's going to be the end of you, blue cheese. Yeah, the gout getting you as well.
Get a cyst on my kidney, broken glass pustule in my don't start, man. I got a bunch of
annual colonoscopies. There's a lot going on with Large we don't even know about right
now.
I
was just assume whenever I go up to New York that Large is on the verge of another major medical procedure.
It's funny because it's true.
Oh, it's wrong. Got a ripped open testicle. It's the whole thing. I was sitting there at my normal seat at our churros, and next thing you know, I slipped and cut my testicle wide
Heard
open.
a noise.
Something popped. It was fucked up.
We'll dive into some stories now. The stories are presented to you by Every Plate. What is Every Plate? It is a food service company that will help you save time and money, learn to cook, or eat well. Every Plate makes sticking to your New Year's resolution easy. I mean, the concept of Clem. We're looking to save money. We're looking to save time, learn to cook, and eat better. I mean, fucking all things done in one. This year, give yourself and your wallet a break. Enjoy delicious, affordable meals delivered to your door and ready to go in just 6 simple steps. Even at full price, Every Plate is 50% cheaper than a meal made from the grocery store ingredients, making it easy to save money. That's the thing. If you go to the grocery store and you buy all your shit, you're usually fine. But if you go out to eat, you're like, you're just burning money. It's even cheaper than the grocery store. You can't go fucking wrong with this stuff.
And it's a great gift. That's what my mama, I got her that for Christmas. I got one of her Christmas gifts was 2 weeks of food, like from meal prep, where she didn't have to do it, like didn't have to cook or anything like that. She said it was lovely. Just throws them in there and then pulls it out, throws it into the air fryer. And next thing you know, she's got dinner.
And then Mama Chap, she gets the little like the sim thing. Remember when they learn a skill, you get the little like diamond with the emerald would flash. So you get to kind of give them a little thing there. And like you said, think of it this way. One meal from every plate is about the same price as one cup of coffee, which is a fucking bonkers thing. So it's crazy. Try Every Plate for just $1.79 per meal by going to everyplate.com and entering code FATHERS179. That's everyplate.com, code FATHERS179. That's a $104 value coming to your door from your friends at the Podfathers with our brand new YouTube channel here. First story up. I guess this is kind of the COVID corner, these two stories, but they were fucking outrageous in their own right. First one was there was a woman in Texas. Her name is Sarah Beam. 41-year-old school teacher was arrested on January 8th and charged with endangering a child. She had went to the drive-through testing site in Houston, where she allegedly told the driver of the health services at the site that her 13-year-old child was in the trunk to avoid exposing her to COVID as she was driving to get tested. She told the director her child was positive for COVID-19 and brought him to the site for additional testing. Thoughts, Chapsy? What was your take when you saw this?
I don't blame the mom. I mean, you just got to do what you got to do at this point. Like, you got to throw a kid in the fucking trunk. You throw him in the trunk. You got to put him inside the back seat without a car seat. That's what you do. You got to put a plastic bag over their head from time to time to keep them safe. Whatever. You just do what you got to do to survive.
Thank you, Chapsy. This is a story that if I had seen before kids, I would have been horrified. I'd be like, oh, throw her in the fucking under the prison, put her in the chair, whatever it may be. It's survive in advance with kids at all times, let alone during this shit. What are you supposed to do with someone if one of them has COVID, one of them doesn't? You either leave them home by themselves or you throw them in the fucking trunk. It's not like it's a 3-year-old or a 3-month-old. It's a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
You throw has his iPhone on, buy him a game, probably like 99 cents, and he's fucking happy.
All these stories about people that are quarantining, and I know, Lars, you've had it multiple times. You've had COVID multiple times, so you're probably avoiding getting it that third time. But if somebody's in my house, like Kate's going through it right now, with Kate has it, Cash has it, her son, and Pat doesn't have it. If I am staying with somebody that has COVID, I think I'm just going to go up and kiss him on the mouth. Like, it doesn't matter who it is. You're just getting a big old smoocheroo because we're going to go through this together. Because God forbid you have to have the double, like you get it. And then at the end of it, then you get it. You have the period where it's all doing its thing. And the next thing you know, you're back. I would not want to do just everybody get it at the same time. Just get it.
Chaps, I was so fucking tempted. Because I didn't get it this time. I've only had COVID once. I had it in January of 2021, right? So that's when I had it. And so I didn't get it this time around yet. I just tested yesterday. Annie got knocked for a loop on this one. Everyone's telling me it's just like a kind of a bad cold. I haven't heard enough about people. She was done. She was kind of, unable. I think if we both were done, then the kids, like, it would have become sort of Lord of the Flies type thing downstairs. And then if we were both done and the fucking dog needed to be rushed to the hospital at 2:00 in the morning, do you know what I mean? Like, it would have just, so
some of the side effects are bad. And you don't want to be both people to experience. Like Kate said that her butt was basically like one of those pirate ships at a splash pad where you're trying to shoot the other pirate ship with a water cannon.
If we were a couple, then I would 100%, like when Jetski was quarantining with Daniela, when Daniela had it, he never got it, but he was like, I might as well just get it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But with the kids, it's different. Like if Clem and Mrs. Clem both got it at the same time, they'd be fucked if they were both unable, because trying to care for kids when you're also sick, that's the worst. Maybe if my kids all got it at the same time, that'd be good. You just throw them into bed and just get like tubes set up where you could just blow soup into their fucking rooms. But like, I think with the parents, I was hoping Annie would get done. And then as soon as she get done, I'd get it. And I'd be like, all right, get the fuck out of bed. And then I'd crawl in there for 3 or 4 days.
Oh, you'd be going down to the Four Seasons.
Oh yeah. I'd be quarantined somewhere else. Yeah. But I think you make a good point. It's also not the summer. It's not like they put this kid into a fucking trunk in July where the temperatures got up to 117. I've spent times in trunks. We used to get into the trunk and then sneak into the surf club down at Breezy Point with a couple of cases of beer. That way we wouldn't have to pay per head. It's not that bad. All depends on what kind of car they have. If they had the Nissan Cube or something that's potentially small, maybe not. But you got a Lincoln Continental, you can stretch out in there. Get a
You don't
Game
want to
Boy
get.
and
You
some
don't want to be in the
headphones.
trunk of a Mazda Miata. I guarantee you that.
Yes, exactly. Tesla.
But
you'd
you
be
got a
riding
nice
front.
Skylark. I'll hop right in.
Oh, forget about it. So yeah, I wasn't
Crown Vic.
as clutchy of my pearls to this as I think the most people got from the headline. I think all three of us felt the same way, right? It was not a huge deal. It was almost respectable parenting.
I like, even when the kids are young, you kind of just have to you're like, I have to get into this store. They're sleeping, and it's either I wake up the kid or I have to kind of park it and kind of keep my eye on the car, lock the door, and kind of you just go and you're making eye contact with the car at all times. It's kind of just one of those things, man. You're fucking damned if you do, damned if you don't, especially during this shit. So, the next story kind of had to do with, and that's the other thing too. This is a teacher. If she gets sick, then her entire fucking class is quarantined. They're all going home, and then the disintegration of society then starts again in this town, like it is in all the other towns right now going on in the world. Hey, there's something to be said. Largely, you said you used to grow up in trunks. Remember driving in station wagons where you'd have the seat just right out the back of the car, where if you get rear-ended, you're
the
just
old
fucking
Woody
dead?
ones. Yeah. I used to have that. Me and my sister used to fight over who was sitting in the back of that thing because you could act like you're running backwards and you felt like a champion.
Yes, running backwards.
And then every now and again, you'd be behind one, and the kids are looking back at you, strangers, and inevitably one kid would be like,
the double birds.
And then you'd be doing this in the front seat.
Hitting truck drivers with the, let me hear some tones. Like you're that fella that loves trains, dick my butt.
Some truck driver wrote a note on social media the other day. It's like, listen, all the kids that bother every truck driver every time we pass you by and you try to incessantly ask us to do that thing, please never stop doing it. We fucking love it. The guy wrote, but he really set it up and it knocked him down. And that just made me smile because I was one of those, come on.
You're the king of the road. I mean, when you're doing that bad boy and you're letting them hear those horns, you know, that's the power of capitalism behind it.
Right. Mom, show me your tits.
Yo, Mom, you got dynamite titties. Boom, you like that? Boom, boom.
There's something to be said about just living that life too, back in the fucking back of the station wagon, right, or in the trunk. Maybe if we weren't such a sterilized society,
you never would have happened. No shot they can hit you from up there.
Exactly,
that's way too much distance.
The next story, this one came
ripping ass back there. Hell yeah.
This one came from Fortune, fancy article here, just kind of detailing all the different states because of the teacher shortages that were going on during all the different outbreaks across the state. Texas, they had pay increase to substitutes up to $225 a day, but they were also asking parents, retired teachers, and people with a career in education to come in. Uncle Chaps politely declined. Did you politely decline any?
They wanted military veterans to be a part of it, and I gotta say that is the dumbest idea I've ever heard. People that think military veterans are qualified to teach in schools are outside of their mind. I mean, some of the military people that I worked with are so stupid. They thought that Okinawa, Japan was a floating island. Like you could swim underneath from side to side. And we had another dude convinced that Mormons worship seagulls. And that's the reason why we weren't allowed to shoot them on the beach.
Oh my goodness.
But we do need teachers because the first day back here for Kearney School District, 900 teachers called out sick in one district. 900.
When Sienna had to stay home a couple of weeks ago, it was because there was no bus drivers. So it's not just the teachers; you're losing the bus drivers, admins, whatever it may be, that make the fucking school go round. So it was parents. Let's see, Connecticut, they had retired teachers come back without losing their benefits. They had in New York a bunch of people they're waiving. They're trying to get retired people back as well. And I mean, at this point, we said it a few times on the podcast recently, how teachers kind of were like the heroes and now they're kind of just getting shit on. The new rule should be, if you complain about a teacher in terms of going to school, not going to school, teaching remote, not teaching remote, if you want to complain about your kid's teacher, you have to teach for one full day. Teach those fucking kids in person and do a fucking C+ job, and then want to come back the next day.
Be so fuck Clem, because the people that complain are legitimate psychopaths.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying, man.
You should just be thrilled in year 2 of a pandemic that there's anyone who will even look at your little snot-nosed disease-carrying parasite. The fact that there are teachers who are willing to do it for the pay that they get now, saints. There's the guy that teaches dance he teaches dance and yoga at Cardi's school every day. Being a teacher right now would be awful because you have to deal with so many parents in so many different ways. Parents are more in tune and more communicative with their teachers than possibly ever before. But this guy, every afternoon in parent pickup, takes out his little Beats by Dr. Dre pill, sets it in the middle of the parking lot, and he fucking dances the cars out and be like, dancing queen, you're going right here. And I'm like, fucking yes, dude. Get it.
Get it.
Just made my day.
Fucking that subtle dance and yoga teacher, that's gonna bump you up the fucking keep me back into the last place in the poor rankings. I can tell you that much. That's fucking that's strong.
In St. Louis, though, one of the guys who did the fill-in is that kid Harrison Bader, the center fielder for the St. Louis Cardinals. Like he wound up coming in they didn't make a big deal out of it, and their kid showed up to class, and it wound up that their substitute teacher for the day was a Gold Glove winner. This guy Harrison Bader. Yeah, and the guy's like 27 years old. He's a fucking stud. He's from Bronxville too. He's like a New York guy. Grew up like a Yankee fan and whatnot. And so that's pretty cool for a kid. He was demolishing kids in fucking dodgeball, I heard, but otherwise it was like so those stories will dribble out. But with our flexible schedules, like I was thinking about giving it a whirl. What the fuck? Like just go in there and I would have to do it for Bridget's thing because I don't think high school kids would take to me. You know what I mean? That would be very, 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 very mean. I think grammar school would be my sweet spot. But yeah, there's a dire thing. A buddy of mine down in South New Jersey.
Boys, that like the kids would, if you're like, oh yeah, Canelo. I have a YouTube video with Canelo.
Oh, I'd be such an asshole.
You ever seen Tommy Fury? Asshole. He knows who I am.
Yeah. Want to see some pictures?
Yeah.
But yeah.
What if the kid stole your Coke too? Your can of Coke that you brought for that? Who took my Coke? God damn it! And just
I think Large would make. I think all three of us in our own ways would make phenomenal crossing guards at school.
Yes.
Yeah.
Large with his tea, just cruising over there, not in a hurry anymore. Oh, come on. Yeah, Kathy, come on, you too. Yeah, we'll wait. No. Nick,
I do that a lot.
The Brooklyn coming out at large there. And then we have to just because we just had the first week of the playoffs here, I had to nominate someone to the Podfathers Hall of Fame, and that is going to be brought to you by Solo Stove because they're a Hall of Fame sponsor. We love the Solo Stove. I love my Solo Stove. Large loves his Solo Stove. Chapsy will love his Solo Stove one day if he ever gets one. But I'll tell you right now, it's the best thing to do. You just go outside right now. Can't really do
bullshit. It's bullshit because listen. If I would have just bought one now, but I feel like that's not financially prudent when I know that one's eventually going to come for me, like from the sponsors. And so I'm just sitting here waiting, fireless and flameless.
And Chapsy, you're going to love it so much. It's so easy to start a fire. I'm sure you are a well-traveled man with your...
I'm just concerned about the excess smoke. That's it. That's my only concern.
Don't be concerned. There's not a lot of excess smoke. This thing burns brighter and cleaner than 90% of the rest of the fire pits on the market with virtually no ash. I've been there. It just
stinks that it's so hot to the touch for a long time after you
use
it.
That's another thing. The double wall construction makes it cool to the touch. It's also one of the concerns I had, but now that I have one, I'm pretty intelligent on it.
Yeah, but so bringing it from the fire pit back to your garage without a carrying case seems like you just get
again. I have to tell you, that's an ignorant thing to say. I don't blame you though. You wouldn't know. It comes with its own very handsome carrying case, so you just pop it in, cinch it in a drawstring, and actually it's two things. You can carry it like a backpack. You don't need to because it's lightweight construction, makes it easy to tow just about anywhere, including the beach, the lake, wherever the fuck you like to go. So
sounds nice, but I haven't had my tetanus shot, so I am worried about the rusted exterior.
No, rust free, chaps. I think the only thing that might hold you back from it would be the fact that you'd have to pay full price. Does he, Clem?
Not so fast, my friend. Shop now and get 30% up to 30% off fire pits all month long. And use promo code Podfathers.
I wish we had the ability to take that Nickelodeon slime touchdown and just make it come and just do a come all over the ad read because it's so good.
Such a good goddamn ad read.
man.
Plus a lifetime warranty and free 30-day return. So what is that again? Up to 30% off fire pits all month long, and use promo code Podfathers at checkout to get an extra $10 off. So they know we sent you, plus a lifetime warranty and free 30-day returns. Just go to solostove.com. And remember, you get $10 off when you use the promo code Podfathers. And like they said, 30-day returns, free lifetime warranty, and free 30-day returns. So you check it out. If you like it, you like it. If not, no harm, no foul. You just don't fucking tell a soul, and we fucking go from there. So 30%, up to 30% off to get your fire pits for when it gets nice outside, and then you get an extra $10 off because your pals, the Podfathers, said so. Podfathers Hall of Fame. I'm throwing her in there. I didn't even run it by the committee. This one just went in. Fucking, I rubber stamped it. Donna Kelce. Did you guys see Donna Kelce, what she did this weekend? Absolute fucking superstar. She's the mom of Travis Kelce, obviously tight end on the Kansas City Chiefs and my fantasy team, no big deal. And Eagles center Jason Kelce, both fucking studs too. Like, you know, Pro Bowl, all pro, just absolute monsters. She went to the Eagles game in Tampa on, what was that, Sunday, 1 o'clock?
Sunday,
1 o'clock
midday.
Sunday?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
1
was a 1
o'clock
game.
Eastern on Sunday. And then she made it to Kansas City for the night game, Pittsburgh versus KC. She started, and then when she went from one to the other, all coach on fucking commercial airlines, all that kind of stuff.
Oh, did she?
No,
I was just about to shit on it because anybody, well, what's the fuck is wrong with her sons? Like both of them have huge contracts. Like Jason Kelce's like 80 million. And then I would imagine Jason Kelce is at least like 40 because he's one of the best centers in the league. You're not getting your mama a fucking private jet at that level of wealth. Disgusting.
Sienna and AJ have Sienna has
Hall of Fame mom, Hall of Shit kids.
Yes. Oh, they're banned from the Podfathers Hall of Fame until further review. Rebuked.
Big time.
All right, you want to rebuke them? Are you rebuking them both?
Both of them.
Yeah, but I have to rebuke both of them.
Listen,
Even
Dave
if it's
gets,
first class, do not have private for your mom when both of you are high level Pro Bowl, all pro level players. Despicable. An absolute abomination to the Lord and in violation of one of the commandments of honoring your mother and father.
Dave Portnoy gets fucking Spider a private jet to make it to Rough and Rowdy, right?
That's exactly
You can get
right,
your mom a private jet to make it in between the two games.
Probably maybe a one-time thing in your entire life where you play on the same weekend.
It's disgusting.
And she made it in time.
During COVID?
She didn't
During
get during COVID.
They put her on chaps. These guys have to be rebuked. They are two of the worst sons that I've ever.
Ungrateful.
Oh, I am such a seller. Honestly, I hope that are they both still alive? I don't even know who the fuck they play for.
If I was that kind of athlete and my mom needed to go, she would have 2 private jets. It would be like mama private jet, be kind of like Air Force One and Air Force Two, or helicopter Marine Corps Squadron 1 and 2, where they fly both of them at the same time, so you don't know which one is actually in the private jet. That's the treatment that she would get.
Yeah,
this is despicable.
I'm assuming these boys were both over 10 pounds at birth too. This woman has been torn apart. And you know how tough it is being a fucking parent of an athlete. You have 2 fucking athletes carting them all these other places all around. I mean, this woman ruined her uterus and her fucking life for these boys. And she's fucking flying steerage. That's bullshit. Southwest
Why
Airlines
she was weeping in the stands.
Ugh. This is the disgusting story.
It really is.
She had to get a rickshaw at the stadium to catch her Uber in the back lot.
A rickshaw?
A rickshaw.
A rickshaw in the day and age of helicopters and limos? This woman's taking a fucking rickshaw?
Like she's goddamn Nacho Libre.
And her flight was delayed. So it's not like you get to see 2 NFL games in one day. That's a delightful experience, even though it's a lot of work. No. She got there for the 4th quarter and she saw Travis throw his first career touchdown in the 4th quarter of a game that I didn't even watch the 4th quarter.
Did he give her the game? Did he give her the ball? If he didn't try to give her the ball on camera,
the answer to that.
He didn't give her the ball because she was up in the 300s. She was up in the fucking end zone, opposite end zone. She probably could barely see the play. I heard she got shit seats. This woman is a fucking saint. They don't deserve her. They don't fucking deserve her. Donna Kelce.
Both of these guys, I looked it up. Both, oddly enough, have around $55 million in career earnings each. Travis is about to almost double that in the next few years of his contract because he's about to get paid unless they cut him before it's all said and
Batman
done.
would have killed for a mother like this.
Oh my God. The only redeeming quality of both Kelce boys right now is that they both came from the same fucking mother. That's the only reason why I will fucking take them out myself, because I don't want to make
her. You know what they got her for Mother's Day last year? A voicemail. These kids are bad. They're fucking bad. I mean, that's what I heard. I'm not sure if that's true. It's bad, man. I'm glad you brought light to this, Clem, because I think a lot of people are not seeing the forest for the trees. They're concentrating on this poor woman who's putting her life at fucking risk. I mean, she's older than me, I'm assuming. I'm probably not. But still, it's like, flying coach and all this on a filthy rickshaw. You've been on a rickshaw?
With her back?
Oh, rickshaws are like 30% semen. Put a black light on that fucking thing. I've got more head in rickshaws.
I implore you not to.
Mrs. Kelce, if you're listening, I know you're probably a fan of the show.
This is not going the way that Clem thought it was going to go.
I was hoping you guys were going to go this way. I'll be honest.
Send her a solo stove.
I'm going to send her a solo stove. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'm going to use promo code Podfathers. Get my $10 off. I'll keep that in my pocket. No, I'll send it to fucking Jason and Travis. They can each send you a thank you card for coming to their fucking little football games. And those are the two shittiest games of the week. Everyone's like, well, the Chiefs are going to blow out the Steelers, and the
least desirable games to attend.
And she went to both with a delay, rickshaw, and apparently she had a text message of like the whole fucking, it was just a nightmare. So shout out Donna Kelce, Podfathers Hall of Fame. Welcome to the club, lady. We're going to send it to the mailbag now. If you want to, and Donna, if you want to send in your account, send it in. Either go to barstoolsports.com/askdad, podfathershow@gmail.com, or on Instagram or Twitter at podfathershow. We got a bunch of stuff here. We got some stuff from Reddit that I see was added. We'll start with the first one here before we dive in. This one's from Ivan. Love the pod. Been a listener since I found out my wife was pregnant with our firstborn. He is now 2 and a big brother to his 8-month-old baby bro. Yes, we're very busy right now. I'm 32 with a history of baldness on both sides of the family tree and a very poor receding hairline. I recently started shaving my head and enjoy the look. However, I'm still figuring out my routine and best practices. This is our aging podcast, Barstool Grown Up, as we know. That's why we named the YouTube channel that. Large, you consistently sport a clean, shiny dome. When did you start going with this look? Any advice or recommendations for a novice? Thank you. I feel like this answer is going to impact a lot of people's lives, Large. So think before you answer it here. And we're all shaving, right? Large, Chaps, you're still like clean shave, yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you could ask any of the three of us. I do it consistently without, but obviously I'm also the oldest. Right around the time I was like 28 or 29, I started to go bald in a little bit of a V pattern here, like a slice of pizza. And I used to part my hair that way. So I started parting it to the other side just to kind of cover it up. I wasn't 30 yet. Then I started using something called a bodifying mist. I wasn't 30 yet. I was like, am I fucking kidding myself? Like, why am I doing it? So I took it down on my own. I was like, done. I just took it down on my own and I never went back. But I have a pretty nice looking head. I don't have, like my dad has all these welding slags and all that shit. My friend,
one of those weirdos that has like a Sharpay head.
Yeah, or like the back of their neck looks like a pack of Franks. Like mine is okay. So
like a cinnamon bun.
Yeah, my thing is that you have to do it. If you want the look, you have to do it every day. And I find the easiest way to do it is to put a little bit of baby powder. I use the Gold Bond Green, the medicated one that stings a little. I just put a little bit of that on my head before I get to the shower, before I start to sweat or anything like that. And then I give it a thing with an electric razor. I use an electric razor exclusively on my head, a Norelco triple blade or whatever the hell you can get for at CVS. We don't have any sponsors right now, so I can say whatever the fuck I want. And as long as you do it every day, because if you want to keep this thing for whatever reason, people like it or not, if you want to keep it, you can't let it go for more than 1 or 2 days, because shaving through a lot of stubble with an electric razor gets a little bit more dicey. And there's nothing more, I don't know, pathetic than seeing a guy who shaves his head, but he kind of has like those 1 or 2 strays that he can't see, even behind his ear or something. It's like you just don't care. So I used to keep one in my car when I was a regular, commuting type guy. I just shaved on the way in around, and it was zero problems. And I still use an electric razor to this day, any kind of Norelco triple head, but stay on top of it and you should be just fine.
Damn, Large, I'm shocked. I would have figured you probably picked that thing is clean every time I see you. So I had no idea you were doing that with the Norelco 3-blade there. No offense to Norelco. By the way,
I didn't think any.
I rebuked Riggs from the bald delegation today after his. Did you see what happened with the dozen?
Yeah, I saw that.
he traded himself to the out of office team that is Chris Castellani and Doug's because Joey Molinaro no longer is at Barstool. And he had tried to trade Hank and Dante without their knowledge to get Chris Castellani and his team. Now, we've all played on the dozen before. I just, as a ball guy, it didn't sit right with me. Reeves is pretty new to the club. I kind of don't want this fucking fraternity of ours to be known as like a little mischievous clan that just fucking.
I love it. He's not looking like a little bitch. He saw an opportunity to really up his level of competitor that he's going to battle with, and you got to do that. I mean, this is a basketball guy through and through. It's not about feeling, it's about X's and O's. And if you can get people that can get down in the low post and dunk home a couple points whenever it matters most, you got to do it. And if that hurts a couple of low-level players along the way, my goodness gracious.
Wow.
I don't want to spill the beans too much, but there are some outside forces at work here. Some guys who run the dozen who are trying to push for certain, trades to be made and stuff like that. I've had a couple put in my plate too. I've held strong so far, but there might be something coming out of Gen XYZ in the next coming week or so.
Wow, we're getting a little fucking sprinklings here, a little Woj bomb from the large.
It just sucks that my team is actually like it's because you served me, Billy Football, and Kate.
Yeah, it's hard to find another veteran in the company other than Kansu, who's part of the worst
one
team
that I
in the
like,
entire.
anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So interesting. Large, a little finger is at play here, making the fucking controversy go around in the dozen. Good to know. So keep an eye on that. We'll just maybe become a little dozen rumor mill. That'll be part of the Podfathers in the future here. We're gonna go to. We got.
I think we should let's skip. Can we skip that? Because I just heard. Baby Dale, if you don't come inside, I'm gonna fucking kill you. So if we could just go ahead and end there and save the other ones for the next week, can we do that, Clemmy?
Well, we got to put an ad in though too.
Oh, okay, well let's do that.
Okay, so this ad, and luckily for Chaps, he hears about Baby Dale going crazy. What can he do to see what's going on with Baby Dale in fucking 4K, beautiful fucking vision? Get his
Simply Safe, yeah.
Yep. If you have ever wanted to make your home feel safer, and there is no better time than now. It's the new fucking year, and fucking embrace it. 2 hands, fresh starts, new year, new you. Right now, our friends at Simply Safe are giving Podfathers listeners access to their New Year's holiday deals, 20% off their award-winning home security, and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. Chapsy loves Simply Safe. It has everything you need to make your home safe. Indoor and outdoor cameras, comprehensive sensors, all monitored around the clock. Look at that. Look at that. If you're on the YouTube, Large has his Simply Safe sign there. Just post that out front and let those fucking criminals know you do not play. You care about your house, and you are not going to let it get robbed by those hoodwink, bamboozling criminals. Probably like Joey. I feel like Joey was probably a low-level thief back in the day, right?
I think Nick too. Like, Nick and I grew up in the same neighborhood. He didn't have a good reputation, right?
Nicky the Good. That was his. Nicky B. Good was probably his prison name, right? Like that was his. He's fucking Crooklyn. That's just how it rolls. Simply Safe was even named, as we've said a million times in this podcast, best home security system of 2021 by U.S. News and World Report. Well, Simply Safe, time to get the crown for 2022 because it's a new year. Old you. Simply Safe is going to take care of you. There are no long-term contracts or commitments. It's a real easy way to start feeling a bit more peace of mind in the new year. Chapsy loves them. Largy loves them. I'm going to get it, and I'm going to love it too. So hurry, take 20% off your Simply Safe system, and your first month is free when you sign up for the interactive monitoring service. Visit simplysafe.com/podfathers. Again, that's simplysafe.com/podfathers for 20% off your entire system. And I'm going to spell it for you because they spell it crazy. simplysafe.com/podfathers, 20% off your entire system. Give it a whirl. I'm guaranteeing best home security system of 2022. Throwing the G word around. I don't care.
Clem, I don't ask you for much, right? I don't ask you for much, do I?
No, you asked me for very little. And so little, I'm like, why doesn't he ask me for much? Does he not think I can deliver?
That's not the case. It's not the case at all. Do you mind? I know that we're going to do one more question. Do you mind if I pick the one? Because there's one on here that I just absolutely love.
Did you throw this on here, or did Chapsy throw it on here?
I did not.
Okay.
Throw it. I never threw anything on here. Maybe Chaps did, but it was this Q Nilsson. Right? Do you know?
Oh, yes. Yeah. Yep. That's down there.
I loved it. It's can I read it?
Yeah, here, I'm going to just throw it up onto the rundown. I'll move it up a little for you. It'll be above the Simply Safe ad here so you can read it. Nice. Chapsy threw some wild stuff on here, black fleshlights and stuff. We'll save that for him next week because I know he's going to want to handle that one. Do you want me to read it or you want to read it?
You can read it. I lost it now that you cut it off.
Yeah, I went a little too crazy moving stuff on the Google Doc live on the fly during the podcast. This will come.
That confuses me, man. I'm like an Alzheimer patient looking for fucking keys now. Where am I?
This one comes from the personal finance subreddit. My daughter just turned 1 this December. I don't know why anyone would give a 1-year-old money as a gift, but here we are. She got about $40 in total. What do parents do with this? I already have a custodial account set up for her that's funded every month. Should I open a high yield savings account for it and just add whatever funds she gets in the coming years before she understands what she can do with money? Is that even worth it for such a small amount? Should I leave it in the piggy bank on her dress it? Should I pocket it? What would you give? Why would you give a baby money? So Large, what do you do with money that goes towards a baby here? Well, this is a 1-year-old gift, which I'm sure a lot of people are about to have their first birthday with their kids and they're gonna be stuck in the same spot.
Right. So he's mentioning, like, first of all, the custodial account is awesome. And then, like, as the finance guy, I could tell you, if he wants to open the high yield savings account, he's a fucking idiot. Use this $40 to buy pizza. Use this $40 to buy Chinese food. I've said this so many goddamn times. Nothing tastes better than when you bought it with stolen money, particularly from your liabilities who you've paid for everything. They basically breathe because you allow them to. You're the one who's keeping them alive. Anything they get is basically yours. So he seems to be doing all this stuff. And secondly, there are so many shit gifts out there. Like, if his 1-year-old had gotten 15 gifts, I guarantee you that 12 of them will be in the trash within the next 6 months. Why would I spend $40 on getting her a fucking stuffed animal? Just give me $40 and know that I'm going to buy a case of beer with it. Know that I'm going to buy a bottle of vodka with it, a bottle of wine with it, or a fucking, bullshit Chinese food meal for me and my wife and my fucking kid. I mean, there's nothing better. This guy, it seems, and I don't know this dude, but it seems like he's almost pissy about the fact that his daughter just got $40. Like, what do you do with that? This is a blessing. My mom still sends my 3 kids a $10 bill every holiday. So there'll be 3 Valentine's Day cards is the next thing. We'll get 3 pink envelopes in a thing, be 3 different Valentine's Day cards to my 3 kids, and each one, Happy Valentine's Day, Nana and Papa. There'll be like a 10 in it or 20 in it. I'm not even sure anymore what the fuck it is. And they'll do the same thing for St. Patrick's Day. They'll do the same thing for everything, right? Easter, they'll get a basket. There'll be a little bit of money in one of the eggs. Yep. I take it all and I spend it all. And it's a 100% godsend to throw that in and especially if the person writes something on it, birthday sissy or something like that. And then when you go and pay for a cigar and it's like Happy Valentine's Day, Finn, on the fucking money that you're going to go to pay for fucking, I don't care what you pay, buy lube, but it's just such a nice feeling. So please don't look that gift horse in the mouth and thank the person who doesn't make you have to return the 3rd Hess truck that your kid got this year or something like that. It's a blessing, man.
I mean, and we're going through it now now that AJ is about to turn 4, we're just getting rid of all the baby stuff that we've had. We're throwing it out. We're giving it away. We're selling it, whatever it may be. And just all these $40 things that you're going to, little trinkets, unless you need something, you need diapers, you need whatever. But like you said, Large, like happy wife, happy life, happy parents, happy life too. And that you go to your favorite Chinese food spot, that kid's going to be happier that night because fucking Papa got to have his fucking favorite egg foo young in the world. Thanks to the fucking $40 you got for your first birthday gift.
And maybe if the sentiment was, listen, Large, Clem, I don't want it to get to the point where everyone does it. And then my kid turns 4 and goes to a birthday party. Every kid should be tearing open gifts at a birthday party. Yep. Every kid should be tearing open, a high-end water gun. You know what I mean? A catcher's mitt and something like they want that as opposed to it just being cards. I totally get that. But by the way, the window where that means a lot to them is closing because kids now who are Bridget's age, like if you got Bridget a Abercrombie gift card, she would rather that than anything else that you could think of buying an 11-year-old girl. Like my sons go crazy. I told you the first year that Mick got an Amazon gift card, I think somebody gave him like a $50 Amazon gift card, which was wild to give him when they first did it. It was a couple of years ago. He got 6 things off of Amazon with that $50 gift card. He ordered everything he ordered wasn't $10. It was all like these bullshit things like his dad buys. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And all of a sudden he got 6 different fucking like packages in the mail at different times. You know, a phone case, a charger, nice. A wristband, a shooting wristband, or something to this or that. And he loved it. So again, when the kids are 3, 4, and 5, I know that they got to rip open baseball gloves and doll houses and shit like that. But if you get every now and again a little bit of cashish on the side, boom, relish it because it's the fucking best, and it'll keep up for the rest of their lives. And then the big things, the confirmations, the baptisms, the graduations, all that stuff, where all of a sudden you rake it in, like these mini weddings, these bar mitzvahs, these kids rake in thousands of dollars. That's where your funds go. That's your custodial funds and your high yield savings accounts and all that stuff. There's plenty of time for that. $40. Right now, I got it. It's boneless ribs, right? The house special chow fun. We get some dumplings, 2 orders, right? Extra mustard, extra duck sauce. Let's go.
Let's go. When you know how broken my brain is around you. When you said Chinese, I think you're gonna say Chinese stars. You're just gonna buy yourself some Chinese stars from Amazon too. That's the kind of fucking guy I like.
If you buy yourself a gift with it, that's a little cheeky. Like if all of a sudden, hey Dad, where'd that $40 go? And you'd be like, well, your brother got one, your sister got. Yeah, where'd the $120 go? You'd be like, oh, I got these Jordans. Like, that's a little bit weird. But if you say to the kids, hey, how was dinner tonight? And they're like, oh, fucking, that pizza was awesome. Where'd you get it? Oh, Puzo's. Puzo's does those square pies now. And you know what else? What? You guys paid for it. And they'd be like, get the fuck out. I'd be like, yeah, we got a little bit of money left over. Let's go to Stu Leonard's, get some ice cream, which, by the way, is free because I got it all up. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Oh man, I love it. I also love how Chapsy, that's one of my favorite things about the Podfathers is how organic of a podcast it is, especially on these days where everyone's home because it's like today's Martin Luther King Day, so all the kids are home too, and it's just like, oh, gotta tap off. Large is about to go like beat up a kid in Bridget's school, or I have to go pick up a goddamn another COVID quarantine kid, or Chaps has a dog fight breaking out on his hands. I absolutely love it. So as always, we'll see you guys next week. Stay safe and stay sane out there, and stay eating off your kids too. Like Large said, take that 40 and fucking treat yourself. I'm kind of hankering Chinese now too. I think
40 is a nice. 40 is the good number too.
That's the perfect number. That's usually right where we end up, right in our Chinese food these days. So I'm going to get some Chinese. So we'll see you guys next week. Oh, don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel too. Don't do it for me, Large. Chaps, definitely don't do it for that fuckface children and go. Do it for Nicky Be Good, who fucking ditched us on his first day with this YouTube channel on the podcast.
I'm still on the fence with Nicky the Good as opposed to Nicky Be Good because he's so Italian.
He is so Italian.
He does have that, that Tony Whispers. You know what I mean? Like you would never be Nicky Be Good. Go get me a Campari and soda. It'd be like Nicky the Good. How you doing? Like that type of stuff. So I don't know. I might go to the mattresses on this one. I'm rebuking Be Good along with the Kelce boys.
Guy whose both parents are from Ireland is the one giving out the Italians, but you are from Brooklyn too. And listen, I'm half Italian, so I think we definitely have more weight in this than Chaps for sure, just because we're both from New York as well.
Sure.
What do you think, Joey? Be Good or the Good for Nicky? Okay, so Chaps, you've been fucking overruled. Blame your dog fucking doing whatever it was doing for this. Nicky the Good, it has been fucking established. Put that in the fucking Podfathers book along with Donna Kelce in the Hall of Fame. And
So it's Clem, Large, Chaps, Joey Muscles, and Nicky the Good. I think that's good, right?
Yeah. If Nick was the one who had 2 parents off the boat from Ireland, he could be Nicky Be Good because Nicky the Good. You can't have that name. Yeah, but he's
100%.
He doesn't. I guarantee Nick isn't too far from the mother country if he goes back in his ancestry. So.
Oh, there's multiple pictures of Padre Pio at his house. I know for a fact. There's multiple Padre Pio.
Oh shit. We love you, Nick. Be good. We'll see you guys next week. Again, subscribe to the channel, Barstool Grown Up, barstool.link/grownup, capital G, capital U for all the larges out there. I'll see you guys next week.